I am in Kyoto Station waiting for my night bus to Tokyo, and there's absolutely no place to sit down. Konnichiwa! My name is Sarah and I'm from Canada, and this is my channel to talk about my time traveling and studying in Japan. As you can tell, I am no longer in a hostel. This is actually my dorm room at Akita International University. After filming my first vlog at the hostel in Osaka, I got kind of lazy. The rest of my hostels were mixed dorms. I didn't want to disturb people. I'm a bit of a procrastinator, but I still have all this awesome footage that I want to share with you, and tips and places I really liked, so let's get into it. Kyoto used to be the capital of Japan, which means it keeps a lot of older Japanese traditions alive, like kimonos, temples, shrines, and it also has one of Japan's largest geisha districts called the Gion. After settling in at my hostel, Kyoto Hana Hostel, they gave me a map, which was actually super helpful, and I used it throughout my trip. I decided to head to a nearby garden that was on the map called Shiowinsho. There was a small entry fee to get in, but the park was really nice, and they gave me this booklet, which was actually very pretty. I actually kept it. It was a nice relaxing way to ease into my new location. It was very beautiful. There was nice water, trees, little houses and structures, and I apparently liked it so much that I just found this, which is a leaf I apparently kept from the park. I actually just found this in the book. I had forgotten I took it. Next, I headed down to the famous Fushimi-Inari Temple. When I first arrived, it was raining, so I kind of hid out under the hand and mouth washing station. Eventually the rain died down and I got to climbing. Fushimi-Inari is known for its absolutely massive amount of vermilion arches, which are a custom at Shinto shrines. There's a smaller section of the arches where people will kind of go through one and around the other and then back down, but you could also keep climbing, as I did, and there are so many arches. It's I didn't know it went on for that long. I didn't know how long it was. I just kept climbing and climbing. I was so proud that I went to the all the way to the top and back down. You see, this is me before, optimistic, unknowing, and this is me after, fucking tired as shit. For my second day in Kyoto, I headed down to Arashiyama Bamboo Forest. The forest is nice to walk through, and then there are several things to do around the area. For example, Tenryugi Buddhist Temple. This was the first Zen Buddhist temple I visited, and I actually quite liked the atmosphere. There were places to just sit and look at the scenery, there were koi fish, there was a place to walk around. After that, I headed to my favorite attraction. This might have been my favorite attraction of the whole trip, Iwatayama Monkey Park. It was a teensy bit difficult to find, and once you do, you need to climb up quite a ways. On the way up, there are like these terrifying signs warning you, don't get heat stroke, don't look the monkey in the eyes, don't take a picture with them. But once you get to the top, you come to this clearing, and there's all these monkeys just running around, being like the friendliest little monkeys. I had like several cuteness heart attacks. There's a couple people to keep the monkeys in check in case they start fighting each other or get mad at the guests. But in general, the monkeys were super friendly and used to having people around. A lot of people were taking pictures of them, but it's good to keep your distance to a certain degree. There was a little house where you could feed the monkeys. You'd buy peanuts or apple slices and put your hand through the grated window, and they'd be so cute about it. They just pluck it right from your hand. They were so cute. They just, with their little hands. I'm sorry my voice is going a little bit crazy, but I love fuzzy things. My favorite was this old lady monkey that was also the favorite of one of the monkey keepers. He told me she was about 80 in monkey years. That was about 30, I think, in human years. She was just super chill and had these really like bright eyes. Later that evening, I went on a night tour of Gion, the geisha district. The map that the hostel gave me actually told me about it. I think it cost about 1,000 yen. The tour guide was super bubbly and friendly and open to taking all questions. She explained to us the difference between the tea houses and the geisha houses. The geisha houses will usually have the names of the geishas on the outside. She also explained the difference between maiko and gaiko. A maiko is basically an apprentice geisha. Gaikos are full-fledged geishas and are usually older. You can immediately tell the difference by the collar that they're wearing. A gaiko will have a white collar while a maiko will have a red collar. Inevitably in the tour, the movie Memoirs of a Geisha comes up. That film is one of many things that has contributed to the image of geishas as prostitutes. This is the way my tour guide explained it. So initially the tea houses just served tea to visitors, then they started like incorporating performances, some food. Basically they started incorporating things they thought the clients would like. So she asked one of the people in the tour group, what would you like after an evening of tea and food and performance? What do you think would be nice after all that? The man she asked didn't say anything, so she went, I see I've asked the right person. Basically, although some geishas did engage in prostitution, it certainly wasn't their primary occupation. My third day in Kyoto, I rented a bike from the hostel. That particular hostel had a deal that if you stayed more than 3 nights, you could choose from some bonus options. I chose the bike. Biking in a popular city of Japan can be nerve-wracking, but I think it's also a really great experience to have. At one point though, I accidentally bit the curb and I fell right down. I didn't hurt anything, I was completely fine and got right back up, but I did get a few locals staring at me. If something like this happens to you, you can always say daijoubu desu, which means it's okay. By bike, I headed to the International Manga Museum. Although it has some exhibitions that were very interesting, it's almost more like a library, which I really liked. It had an English section of manga. It's not a huge section of the English manga, but it certainly was enough for me to fill half a day of reading. And seeing just the walls and walls upon of manga is so impressive. After a morning of manga reading, I headed to the Nishiki Market. This place is great to eat some interesting food, see some interesting products. I recommend going to a few stalls before buying something though, because one stall may sell it for cheaper than another. I wanted to do some more biking, so I went to Gion and visited the Yasaka shrine. It's quite pretty at night, and there was a guitarist playing some tunes where people were just kind of sitting and watching. It was nice and relaxing. For my final day in Kyoto, I decided to visit to the 2 famous temples, Kinkaku-ji and Ginkaku-ji. The first one is known as the Golden Pavilion, and the second one's known as the Silver Pavilion. Although only the first one is gold, the second one isn't silver. It was quite pretty, but I'm not sure it's an essential sight. Although, as there are at many shrines, there was a place to buy these. So I decided to try spelling my name in kanji, katakana, and hiragana. Badly. Then I went to the Ginkaku-ji temple. I liked this one quite a bit. I seem to like the Zen Buddhist aesthetic a lot. I found the sand formations really cool, and there was a place to just kind of sit and view the scenery. That was my final day in Kyoto. Kyoto was absolutely gorgeous. My next stop was Tokyo, which is what I was waiting for the night bus for. I'll tell you a story about that experience later. Please comment if you have anything to say about Kyoto, traveling in Japan, or anything about this video, and thank you very much for watching. Bye!